What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everyone, for the family.
There was no sign of this. This is just...
You know, everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find.
Sheila E. was the last person Prince really trusted. Now, people are saying she's finally starting to tell the truth. And what she's supposedly saying has everyone shocked. Some are saying Prince was trying to warn us. A few even think Diddy didn't want Prince around long enough to speak out. Fans believe Prince wasn't just going to talk about music rights. It was something much bigger. They think he was about to expose deep secrets hidden in the music industry.
Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah. Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, you know, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
Twisted rituals, control, and straight-up using people. The kind no one was supposed to talk about. And guess whose name keeps coming up whenever these shady stories are mentioned? Diddy's. Again. Coincidence? Maybe. But now, Sheila E., who's stayed quiet for years, is allegedly speaking out. And what she said, if true, is seriously chilling. Sources say she believes Prince was trying to protect people from a dark truth, one so heavy that the world just wasn't ready for it. This wasn't only about chasing fame or money, it was about surviving in an industry that destroys its own. Let's go back a bit. Sheila E. met Prince in 1977 while playing at a show with her dad. By 1984, she had signed with Warner Brothers and teamed up with Prince for her first solo album, The Glamorous Life.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in.
Prince didn't just write the music, he played on it too, turning it into a big hit. Then, boom, Sheila E. started opening for him during his famous Purple Rain tour in 1984 and 1985. But that wasn't the end of it. She later signed with his label, Paisley Park Records, and even became the music director for his Sign of the Times and Lovesexy tours. They were connected, creatively, professionally, and maybe even in a deeper way. Sheila wasn't just recording with him. She was performing on stage, touring the world, and even appeared in his Sign of the Times concert film. They performed together at the Brit Awards, and she was by his side again during his 2007 tour. But behind the fame, the lights, and the cheers, something more was happening. Something real and private. Something only Sheila E. may fully understand. And now, it seems like she might finally be ready to share it. Fans still talk about one special moment like it was pure magic, because it was. During a live show, Prince looked at Sheila E. from across the stage and mouthed two surprising words: "Marry me." No script, no plan, just raw emotion. And reportedly, they actually got engaged for a short time after that, but they never ended up getting married. Then things get a little unclear. Some reports say Sheila and Prince didn't talk for 5 years before he passed away in 2016. People say it was because of her memoir, The Beat of My Own Drum, where she talked about their relationship. But what if that's not the full story? Sources close to them say something different, that Sheila and Prince actually reconnected before he died.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
So basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music or EMI or Sony ever in public.
This wasn't just small talk. Prince allegedly opened up to her. He shared some deep secrets about the dark side of the music industry, and Diddy's name was right in the middle of it. Prince never held back. He wasn't afraid to call out the powerful people controlling things behind the scenes. He warned about secret players who controlled artists, shut people up, and changed the truth. One name that kept coming up? Diddy. So the real question is, was Prince about to expose everything? Remember, Prince cared deeply about artist freedom. He hated the idea of being owned by anyone. That's why he once wrote slave on his face. It wasn't just a message, it was a cry for freedom. He believed artists should control their music, their image, and their careers. In 1977, Prince signed with Warner Music when he was only 18. From 1978 to 1981, his albums didn't blow up right away, but Warner stuck with him. Why? Because he wasn't just a singer, he was a true music genius. Warner knew he was special. Then came 1982. MTV had just started, and Prince took full advantage. He released new music and finally broke into the US top 10. But here's what made him different. Prince understood music videos before anyone else. He didn't just make songs. He created a whole image, a story, a legend. That image became both his strength and maybe his downfall. After becoming a legend in the music world, Prince didn't want to play by the industry's rules anymore. He started his own label, Paisley Park Records. Sounds like freedom, right? Not quite. Warner Brothers helped fund the label and took care of distribution. Even then, Prince said they were underpaying him and treating him unfairly behind the scenes. And guess what? That same Warner Brothers was working closely with Diddy. They didn't just team up, they made a huge deal. Warner bought 50% of Bad Boy Records. That gave them control over how Diddy's music was sold, both online and in stores, all over the world.
There are reports that say that the landing last week was a treatment for some sort of drug overdose, whether prescription or illicit. Did you ever have any signs of drug use? Did you ever see any signs of drug use with him lately that would end up in something like this?
No.
We're talking about Mace, Mario Winans, Biggie, and of course Diddy. They were all part of the team when the big deal happened. Diddy proudly said, "Lots of small labels come and go, but we're still here." He bragged about having the money, the right setup, and strong business connections to stay on top. Sounds powerful, right? But here's what people didn't want to say out loud. Diddy allegedly treated his artists the same bad way Prince was treated by Warner Brothers. Take Lil Jerome. For example, when people asked if he left Bad Boy on his own, his answer was heartbreaking. He said it was because of pressure and stress in the music business. He had a nervous breakdown, and Diddy decided not to continue his project. Let that sink in. Lil E. Jerome had 13 songs ready to go, but after he broke down, the whole project was canceled. He didn't leave by choice. He was pushed out by a cold industry that throws artists away when they're no longer useful. While Prince was fighting for freedom, Diddy was allegedly building his own empire using the same shady methods, just passing the pain down to the artists under him. And Diddy? He didn't seem to care. Even when his artists were going through hard times, he treated them like business tools. Take Carl Thomas, for example. He lost his brother, and just 1 week later, Diddy called asking, "When are you coming back to the studio? We've got hits to make." No sympathy, no break, just get back to work like nothing happened. And let's not forget Biggie. Yes, the notorious B.I.G., Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, said Biggie was actually getting ready to leave Bad Boy for a better deal. But after Biggie's tragic death, Diddy reportedly didn't take time to mourn. Instead, he pushed everyone to sell Biggie's music hard. The focus wasn't on honoring his memory. It was about making the Life After Death album hit #1 everywhere. No time to grieve, just chase numbers. Before Diddy even got hit with all those lawsuits, he made headlines for something else. He suddenly decided to give publishing rights back to Bad Boy artists, even old ones. But don't be fooled. It wasn't just a kind move. Aubrey O'Day said she had already gotten the fee offer months earlier and didn't trust it. Turns out, a bunch of artists got those same calls offering to give back their music rights. But there was always a catch. Insiders said it was just a sneaky way for Diddy to keep control and silence critics. Give the artists a little freedom so they don't speak out. And here's where Prince comes back into the story. Sources close to Sheila E. say that Prince saw this coming long before anyone else. He knew how the industry worked. He knew about the manipulation, the stolen ownership, and how artists were used and thrown away. He called it modern-day slavery. Prince said music labels were stealing legacies and killing dreams. He wanted to expose the truth. And some say he already started before he passed. Sheila E. always respected Prince and spoke kindly of him. But now, nearly 10 years after his death, she's starting to tell the full story. She says Prince carried a heavy burden, something dark that he didn't talk about much publicly. But behind closed doors, he told the truth to people he trusted. And Sheila E. was one of them. Prince wasn't just fighting for his own rights. He was on a mission to expose the whole system. He warned that powerful people in the music world were controlling lives, stealing freedom, and playing God with people's futures. And now, with everything going on, especially Diddy's legal problems, people are finally starting to see what Prince was talking about. Here's the chilling part. Just days before Prince died, he posted a photo with a caption that said, "Just when you thought you were safe." That wasn't random. It was a message. At his last appearance at Paisley Park, after what was said to be a medical visit, he looked at the crowd and said, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Then, just like that, he was gone. Prince was found dead at his home in Minnesota at age 57. Officials said it was an accidental fentanyl overdose. He took fake Vicodin laced with the deadly drug. But even Sheila E. says that story never fully made sense. This story isn't over. It's just beginning. If you made it this far, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep truths the music industry doesn't want you to hear. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We see everything. Stay woke.